Very good evening, dear students. Today we are going to learn about the third subunit, which is Destination Life Cycle, Doxy Riddick's concept of destination management and development. In this subunit, today we are going to learn about the life cycle of destination. As we know that every living, non-living objects has its life cycle because after being used, being wear and tear, or it has some kind of importance which may be at its full scale in the beginning. Once we start using a particular object or particular creation, it will diminish after some time, or the importance will have importance will lose after some time of uses. For example, in tourism and services also, when we take example of a destination, we see that during the destination, which is very much unexplored, very less number of tourists will be visiting. Once a destination is being explored by a lot of people, then there are chances that we will see a lot of tourists coming in for looking the destinations or visiting the destination. That is why we can call that every tourism destination has a life cycle. So how we can recognize, or what are the different steps of life cycle? How we can say that destinations have emerged, then what will be the different stages in their life cycle? We can understand with the model which is called TELC, Tourism Area Life Cycle Model. It was given by Butler in 1980, and then it was further adapted and enhanced by Miller and Galucci in 2004. So the Butler in 1980 has given a term called destination life cycle, in which he used to explain the development and successive stages of the tourism destination through which they go over the period of time. In the life cycle model, we can see that there are 6 different steps which are called as exploration, involvement, development, consolidation, stagnation, and rejuvenation. These are the 6 important steps when we put different types of data about a particular destination on two axes. First, maybe the x-axis on which we keep the time, and the y-axis we keep the number of tourists who are visiting the particular destination. So based upon the number of tourists and the time, Butler has plotted a graph in which he says that at the very introduction of a particular destination, the stage can be called as exploration stage of tourism destination, in which there are very less number of tourists, which we can see uh, marked by yellow color. That number of tourists are very less. It is very close to zero also, maybe 10 or 20, or maybe each day, or very less numbers are there who are visiting to a particular destination. That means the particular destination has yet to be promoted, or there are very less number of tourists who know about the destination. The most of the services may not be available in the introduction phase of the tourism destination. That may be another reason that less number of tourists are visiting. During exploration phase, there may be less interaction between the tourist and the local community. Less number of public amenities will be available at a tourism destination. So these are the common features which we can understand, or which we can find during the exploration stage. Second stage is called involvement stage, when the local people see, or the destination marketers or promoters or the private parties see that number of tourists are rising, and there is a chance that we can develop the destination. We can put up different services there, we can put up infrastructure, we can invest a lot of money, and then revenue generation can be done. So there will be involvement between the local community and the tourist more. Further, it will trigger the development process, which has to be done by the state tourism departments and public parties and the local communities, which will be followed by the consolidation, in which we see that there will be job creation, number of local people will be employed at a particular tourism destination. followed by the stagnation. That means when the particular number or particular feature of the tourism destination has been explored by most of the tourists in local area, tourists of local area or the neighborhood states or the country, and now there is nothing new at a particular destination which can attract the tourists from the other places. That means the development features or development process has become at a stagnant point at a destination. Then there will be question in the minds of the developers that what has to be done, whether they can go for rejuvenation of the area or the number of tourists will be declining very sharply, or there will be major decline or slow decline. It depends upon the features which are present at a tourism destination. So these 6 steps we can discuss briefly. The first one is exploration, in which a few hardy and adventurous people looking for something different in a holiday find a place that is special in terms of culture, natural beauty, history, or landscape. So exploration is the phase in which quite a handful of the tourists will discover a particular new area where they can look or they can find something, some unique culture, some natural beauty, history related things, or it may be a captivating landscape which will be very beautiful to spend some time by the tourists. It may be anything. There may be no tourist services available because it's the primary phase of the development of the destination, or it is the time when the particular destination has been explored by the number of tourists or the local people. And no, there will not be any service provider also, like public amenities may not be found during the exploration stage. Or we can say that during this period, the destination is at a very nascent stage, the very first stage of the development. That is called as exploration. Second is involvement. When local people start noticing, or the destination marketers, promoters will start noticing that the place has got some potential, a handful number of tourists are coming on a daily basis, then they may think of joining the activity of the tourism. They may think of starting the tourism activity, such as providing accommodation, some amenities, food, making available the tour guides, and thinking of connecting the local places to the particular destination, or the convenience point of view. They can look at how tourists can travel to this place, and there may be a business related to tourism. The third stage is called as development phase, in which big companies will start looking at the emerging potential of the area. They may start thinking as a development area in which development can be done. It makes the number of tourists swell dramatically and massively expands the number of job opportunities also. So during the development phase, when there are a lot of activities put up at a destination, a lot of infrastructure will start coming at a destination, we may witness that number of tourists are rising, and thereby the job opportunities will also increase for the local people in their local community or the area. The fourth stage is called as consolidation, in which the local economy is probably dominated by the tourism at this stage. So what happens when there is a job in enrichment? There are a lot of local people who are joining hands in tourism activity. We see that after some time, tourism will become only source which is generating high amount of revenue in that area. In case, in comparison to the farming, fishing, or any other classical activity in which local people were engaged. So seeing the tourism as a potential to generate more revenue, many people who are engaged in agricultural cultivation, farming, or any fishing or woodcraft, they may leave their jobs and they can join hands with the tourism activity at particular destination. We may witness these kind of activity called as consolidation. The fifth stage is called as stagnation, in which there may be competition from other destination, local unsocial elements, loss of original features can cause a destination to stop growing. The number of people going levels off then starts to decline, threatening local business and services. So during this, what happens that since there was a development phase of the destination. Many tourists have already visited the destination. Now they may look for something adventurous at a destination or something new. They may look for something new every day. If it is not available, if service providers are not able to enrich their services, then people may think of not visiting that destination frequently. The last stage is called as decline or rejuvenation. From the stagnation point onwards, there are two basic possibilities: decline in various forms or rejuvenation. Either the destination promoters can pump huge investment, they can give new type of amenities at a destination, they can bring new services opportunities or service offerings at a destination. That will be called as rejuvenating the destination. That means giving destinations a new life with different types of features. And if they are not able to do, if they see that there is a lot of investment required in rejuvenating the destination, then they may step back. In this case, we will see that there will be a sharp decline in the number of tourists who visit to the particular destination. It may be slow, rapid, or regular visitors are replaced by the people seeking a cheap break or day trippers. That means people may be visiting the destination, but they won't feel that they can spend more than one day at a destination. In that case, accommodation units or hotels will not find their customers. And when we talk about rejuvenation, it will involve a huge capital injection, pumping the huge capital from either a private company or the government. So if both parties think that it is not profitable enough to rejuvenate the destination, in that case, there will be decline of the destination. The destination will not have the similar kind of attraction or similar kind of image in the minds of tourists. And we may witness one day that no tourists are visiting to a particular destination. With this, we are able to understand the destination life cycle. Now we are moving on to next topic, which is called as Doxy-Iridix model, which is again very much close to the destination life cycle. When we talk about involvement stage of local community or the development promoters or marketers to the tourist, we see that there may be sometimes clashes between the local community and the tourist. So how local community and tourists are going to interact when there is a lot of tourist footfall at a particular destination? Because tourists are coming from different background, they carry their different social image and cultural images, which may be liked or may not be liked by the local community. Similarly, it may happen with the tourist. Tourists may like the culture and social aspect of the local community. They may not like the cultural aspects and social aspects of the local community. So there are chances of culture shock, cultural conflict between the local community and the tourist, which creates a negative impact on the tourism destination. So the Doxy, in 1975, Doxy has given the Doxy-Iridix model, which suggests that communities pass through a sequence of reactions as the impacts of an evolving tourism industry in their area are more pronounced and their perception change with the experience. So they say that as long as the local community has not experienced any tourist inflow, they may be very much surprised. They may not be welcoming the tourist at the very first instance, but as soon as they get the experience with the tourist and at the tourism destination, they may try to involve in tourism activity and start welcoming the tourist. Otherwise, in the beginning, in the first instance of the interaction with the tourist, local community may get irritated. There may be a stage of euphoria in which we can witness apathy, irritation, and eventually antagonism type of behaviors by the local community. So the Doxy Irradiation Index gives us an idea about these four type of stages, which are known as euphoria, apathy, annoyance, and antagonism, in which euphoria represents that says that visitors are welcome and there is little planning. So euphoria is the first stage when visitors are coming to a particular destination and there is very little much planning from the side of local community or the government. So there will be a time when local community doesn't know how to behave, how to welcome the tourist. Second stage is called apathy, in which visitors are taken for granted and the contact becomes more formal. Because local community has not been provided any kind of training, tourists doesn't know how to interact with the local community. There may be social barrier, cultural barrier, there may be barrier related to the language and how to behave. So in this situation, we will see there will be formal interaction between the local community and the visitors. There may not be any type of casual interactions. The third stage is called annoyance, when local people, when they are not provided with a good training, they don't plan to welcome the tourist and they will be very much annoyed. They may be very much disturbed with the investment or with the infrastructure which are coming in the rural area or at a destination. They may be very much annoyed with the interference of the maybe different types of pollution, rising number of vehicles coming towards the destination, or presence of a lot of tourists in their area. Because once we see that tourism destination is on rise, we may witness the increasing number of footfalls of the tourists, increasing different types of pollutions, increasing the disharmony at the tourism destination. So these all things may create an annoyance in the mind of the local community. The last stage is called as antagonism, in which there will be an open expression of irritation and planning, open expression of irritation by the from the side of local community, because they may not take hold of their anger, or they may not take hold on their expression for long. They may come directly, they may show their anger directly to the tourist and the destination developer. And now it becomes the responsibility of the destination developer and promoters that how they can increase the situation, they can make the situation better, or they can stop the situation from deteriorating further. This, with the help of this picture, we can understand that there are different stages of euphoria, apathy, irritation, and antagonism, where during the euphoria there may be sign of positivity, and during the apathy and irritation we may think that these two steps deal with more of the feelings of the local community and the tourist. But if the situation goes at the stage of antagonism, we may witness a lot of negativity among the tourists and the local community. There will be very much negative behavior. There may be instances of negative interaction between the tourist and local behavior. So with the help of these two models, the tourism area life cycle and destination response doxy irradiates, we are able to understand that how government, destination promoters, destination marketers or private parties can work upon development of the relationship of the local community and the tourist, because these are the things only which will enable a destination to become the first choice of the tourist. So we will stop here for today's class, and in the next class we are going to see that what are the sustainable ways in which a destination can be developed. Okay, thank you very much, dear students. We will meet in the next class again.